Welkom. Wel, ek kan nie begin met welkom nie. Welcome. I keep on forgetting that we are doing the Suidlanders gesels in English now. So the welcome to the Suidlanders chat with myself, Marius Greyling, and obviously also Simon Roche, which is still in Russia. How's it going, Simon?
It's going hard, not hard in the sense of bad. We've got some good opportunities. I'm going to a reception tonight. Dimitri said he'd love to do a follow-up interview tomorrow with you, maybe taking questions. Then I've got an interview with Jeremy Nell, whose program is very, 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 very big. I need to check on that. Then there's something else on Friday. So there are things happening, and they're good opportunities, really good opportunities. But it is hard in the sense that these people walk everywhere. And it's not that they don't have cars. I've never seen so many fancy cars in any major city in my life. But if they don't have to go far, they walk. Yes, see, my legs are lame from walking. And to get a phone in Russia, which I have to have, the long and the short of it, excuse me, is that I've got to get a phone to produce videos for you and Arnold because they have a standard practice whereby you can only get like if you arrive at the airport and you go to the phone place, you can only get 12 gigabytes of data for 2 weeks, and you're not allowed to renew it unless you go through this process. Marius, never in your life have you been through a process. No Department of Home Affairs process in South Africa is as painful as the process of getting a phone in Russia because of the and and the Crocus City Hall Center of 2 years ago. Yossi, so I'm buggered. That's the long version of the answer to your question.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Simon, anything interesting that's happened over the weekend in some of the other countries? Obviously, our president has arrived in America, if you want to talk about that a bit. But
No, I don't want to talk about it because I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to control my temper, and it's not when I let go, Marius, I have a bad reputation. Oh, even Mr. Miller's given me a hard time about it. Not a hard time, but he's sort of teased me about it on a couple of occasions, and I'm afraid that I'm going to say too much
yeah.
because um yeah, you know, Rob Hersoff did an interview today on Biz News in which he said, thankfully, there's somebody who's kind of approaching the truth on these matters. He was talking about how Cyril Ramaphosa is going to get a snot clap when he gets to Washington. Well, I think they arrived there this morning or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, or yesterday, and he said that he's heard through his contacts that Marco Rubio has been told, go for it. Donald Trump said, soften them up for me. Get stuck into them. So apparently Marco Rubio is going to go at them like an attack dog.
Okay.
Um, and, you know, oh, my blood is boiling, Marius. John Steenhuisen, I can't say enough bad things about that man. He revealed his true colors on the 23rd or 24th of January when his department got the president to sign off. So he is Minister of Agriculture on the Preservation and Development of Land Act, which is basically an act that empowers the government to have a greater say over farmland. That's what it comes down to. It is not a communist, I don't want to exaggerate, but it is a It makes our laws more European.
Yeah.
Farmers have less rights and the government has more. It entitles the government to dictate what crops can be grown where and what herds and flocks can be kept where and so on. So he's rapidly demonstrating the internationalist nature of the Democratic Alliance. Their true colors are being revealed like that.
Mm.
Not that we didn't know it before, but now there's no
Yeah,
camouflage or disguise.
I think there was a lot of people that didn't realize the extent of the DA and what are the bigger plans? Because they always looked at the Western Cape and say, you know what, it's the only province in South Africa that's functioning sort of properly. The roads are quite good. The municipalities don't have that much corruption, and so everybody was not everybody, but there was a lot of South Africans that was pro DA when it comes to look what they've done with the Western Cape. But now that they've got a bit of power and you see the things that John Steenhuisen is now doing and some of that, that is completely against us as the farmer community, as the right-wing type
But that's how they are
thinker.
modeled. That's how the internationalists work, and it frustrates the daylights out of me that people keep on falling for it. They say we will give you comfort. In the year 2030, you will own nothing and you will be happy. We will take care of you. You
Hmm.
just have to sell your soul. That's all we want. It's not a high price. As fundamentally, if you vote DA, you are voting for a party that is pro. So you're saying as long as my um, rubbish is collected on time, I don't care how many babies are in the womb. It is internationalism. It is internationalism. It is internationalism. This is exactly typical of how these people are. This is exactly typical of how Western Europe is, where you have everything on a plate. You have the most comfortable life in all of the history of mankind.
Hmm.
All we ask in return is your soul. Is that really too much to ask? And it drives me mad. And now Cyril Ramaphosa has taken that guy with him to say that farmers are not being murdered or it's not as bad as they say it is. Have you seen the video of I believe it's at Nampo, where they've erected walls with marble
Yeah.
fascias?
Yeah.
You've seen that video.
Yes, yes, yes.
Arnold must mesh it into this, please do his magic as he incorporates different material into our interviews and presentations and videos and so on, just so that people can see who is the liar.
Hmm.
Those are the farmers who are.
Yeah.
And now the Democratic Alliance has gone with that clown to make that exact point. John Steenhuisen was on the plane that Rob Hersov was on this morning to Washington as part of Cyril's contingent to go and meet Marco Rubio and then President Trump to say that farmers are not being murdered. This guy who said last week that people are cowards? What
Yeah.
bravery is to stay? You've been raped once already. You should a second?
Hmm.
It's madness, Marius. It's madness what our
Yeah.
people fall for. Our people, never mind the lefties. I have no interest in them.
Hmm.
Our people is my problem.
Yeah. Yes.
It's enough to make you commit murder, I'm telling you.
But I think Trump is going to do a Zelensky with Cyril and maybe just squash him there a little bit. But we'll see.
Well,
We'll
that's
see. It's going to be very entertaining the next couple of days. What's going to come out of the USA with South Africa's president being there. I don't want to say my president, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, carry on. I beg your pardon.
No, you did give a warning in the beginning that you will get a bit warm onder die
Marius, the
kou.
content.
No, I know, Simon. I know. I
And
feel
you know what the
exactly the
best
same way.
is? You know what the best is? These people are Christian people. And yet they'll say things to you like, yes, but what is the alternative? You know, if I don't vote DA, then maybe the ANC will get it. You understand? Yay, yay, my mense, yo.
Mm.
No, it's bad. No, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. The circumstances in which we live and the things that we expected to accept as normal. I've been in Russia for, I think today's day 12 now, or day 13. Yeah, tomorrow's 14 days full. And I cannot tell you how I said to, I don't want to get all sort of existential and mawkish, but it's a pleasant place to be. It's pleasant to be here. And we don't live large. We don't go to, sights and sounds and attractions. I'm in a cheap hotel. I eat simple food here on this desk, sandwiches and what have you. It's not a jolly patrolly. The pleasantness doesn't come from the fact that it's, you know, uh, 4 nights at Monte Carlo with everything paid. The pleasantness comes from the fact that it's almost palpable. Man, I don't know if this is going to sound lunatic, but you can almost sense that there's no, there's no, there's no violent crime. You can almost feel it somehow.
Yeah.
And I said to my host this morning, while in the process of trying to get this telephone, oh, heavens above you, no idea. Um, that I feel restful, more restful than in South Africa. I said, even when I'm in the USA or some other country, I have my personality. I have my soul, my spirit, my whatever. And I said, I'm feeling very calm here. And it's ironic because I'm dealing with nonsense between two of my sons. On the one hand, I'm half worried to death and trying to mediate in their blooming rubbish. But actually, I'm calmer than ever in the United States of America. There's something about this place. There really is something about it. And I said to him that it's very healthy. It feels very healthy. So it's not that one wants to get worked up, but you hear these utterances. I'm whatever 8, 9, 10,000 whatever miles away, and I hear my president or our president, the president, as you say, he's not your president, calling the people who went to the USA cowards.
Mm.
49 people. How many hundreds, how many thousands of ANC people went into exile, not as soldiers, it's not that they had to go in order to be in training camps to learn how to be a plant and so on. I'm talking about the people who went not to be soldiers and for less than a family member being murdered. I know them. I know. I'm on very good terms. They would probably never talk to me now. I've lost contact with all of those many ANC people that I used to know, but whom I know well. I know them personally, individually, that grew up in Great Britain or wherever else, whose parents left not because they were likely to get murdered. And these people are cowards, people confronted by and here I come to Russia, and as I was trying to say to you, but I got sidetracked by my own rage. This place, Marius, it's like I don't know how to describe it to you. They've got all of the commie blocks. You know what a commie block is? Those, three people three families living in a one room, not one bedroom, one room flat during communism. My host explained it to me this morning because I didn't understand. He said, no, we're not talking about one bedroom, it's one room.
Sure.
Toilet, kitchen, one room. And three families living in it. So you've got those commie blocks. Now everything's changed. It's no longer Soviet, it's no longer communist. It's one owner per house. So it might be a family of 5 or 3 or 2 or 1. And then we talk 2 and 3 bedrooms.
Yes.
Plus other rooms. So maybe a 6-room flat. Right. It's all changed. These places have been renovated and done up, and and between them, you've got trees growing, millions and millions and millions and millions of trees. So it's quite pleasant on the eye to be here, to walk from one place to the next, to go between the commie blocks. And at the bottoms of the commie blocks, they've all been converted to quaint little restaurants and nail salons and little translation bureaus, little shop with 2 people working in there, nice little doorway, and you can go in and have something translated. So it's all very pretty. And the streets are broad and spotlessly clean. And the shopping centers are just like South Africa, but better. The ones I've been in. And likewise, the metro, the trams, and the buses work fantastically. Absolutely fantastically. And you think to yourself, 35 years ago, we were one of the most advanced countries in the world. 35 years ago, these people lived like dogs. Black people in South Africa, I'm not saying blacks had it good. I'm not doing that white thing where you try to convince people how good they had it. I'm simply making a statement of fact. In apartheid, there was the 4-room, as blacks called it, referring to the apartheid 4-room house. Okay, these people were 3 families to 1 room. Black South Africa had the famous apartheid 4-room houses. These people here have gone from the Stone Age to utopia. We've gone from being the country of the first heart operation of the Formula One world champion, Jody Scheckter, the superbike racing champion, was his name, the world champion, Cork Bellington, the surfing world champion, Sean Thompson. We've got that clown.
Best electrical
that clown. It's like you're driving on the highway. Maybe you've got a push scooter, with 1 foot, like children. They have them here everywhere. There are millions of them, millions. Everybody goes around on scooters or little electric motorcycles. Millions. But the little kiddies push scooter, it's like you're going off to Durban on holiday from Johannesburg, and you're on your push scooter to get to Amanzimtoti, and somebody's come past you, in a BMW M5 or whatever. We are governed by clowns. These people here had nothing. They were worse off than black Africans. That is a statement of categorical fact. They were living in 3 families to 1 single room. Black Africa and South Africa, Black Africa, that part of it, into the 4 rooms. It's like you get a 1 mile, you've got on the horses, the GGs. you've got a mile race, and your horse, because of all of the excuses in the world, as Andre, as he says, insert excuse here. So you get, my little angel heart, your horse gets a mile is 1,600 meters. You get a half-mile start. You haven't gone halfway, a quarter of a mile, and the other horse comes past like a cartoon, like a children's cartoon. These people are children's cartoons, Marius.
Yeah.
They are children's cartoons. The white South Africans who took this tremendous opportunity are cowards. Watch the video, everybody, that Arnold is going to, whatever you call it, knit, whatever the word is that they use in Arnold's world. He's going to attach to this video of the farmers who haven't died, according to Cyril Ramaphosa. The clown. The clown. He's a clown. John Steenhuisen's a clown. Internationalist sellout. Internationalist sellout. Fraternalist. 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 You're a fraternalist sellout. Representing South African agriculture, representing the farmers who didn't die. You sellout in Washington. These people are like they're on I don't know what you call these steroids and things here in Russia. They're moving at 100 miles an hour, and there's nothing to stop them. We have clowns who can't repair roads, clowns who cannot manage sewerage systems, clowns who can't provide us with electricity. I met a journalist the other day. He contacted somebody and said, I'd like to meet Simon. I heard that you're with Simon. Can I have his number? Can we meet? So we met for dinner, supper at a fancy schmancy restaurant that I could never afford in a million years. And it was, I just felt pathetic. Not that it's my fault, but you sit there thinking, oh, we're a bunch of losers. As a country.
Yeah.
These people are on steroids. They are making it happen like you cannot believe, zipping around like they've taken some, I don't know what, too much cough mixture or something. Making business left, right, and center. The world's fourth largest economy. The World Bank said last year we can identify $6 trillion worth of economy, but we believe that we can't see somewhere between 40 and 60% of the economy.
Yeah.
So what, it's actually 9 or 10 or 11? And it's eminently believable. It's absolutely believable. Now I must listen to John Steenhuisen going there, supposedly representing the farmers of South Africa, telling Donald Trump there are no problems. Oh, man. Honestly, Marius.
Yeah.
Really, somebody said to me the other day, they were very angry. One of these Russian guys, he was furious. We were holding a conversation about, I'm trying to learn, I'm asking all sorts of questions. And he was talking about some of the brutality and the viciousness that occurred in the Soviet system. And he was getting worked up. And he said to me, I have no sympathy whatsoever for the people who brought that evil on themselves. They wanted it. They got it. and they were the self-same people who suffered under it and died. Oh dear me. It's very, very wicked. It's terrible what the clown show our government is guilty of. When you consider what they were given on a plate,
Oh yeah.
on a silver platter. They have nothing to show for it. Nothing. They squandered the greatest opportunity that any people was ever given. Because in most cases, a people has to kind of pull itself up by its own bootlaces. You know, America started in 1640 or whatever it was at Jamestown. And, you know, I'm not saying that massacring Indians is a good thing. I think it's one of the greatest tragedies of the history of mankind. But you have to kind of fight your way through various things to come to a point of elevation. Nobody built up Germany for Germany. Germany built up Germany for Germany. The same, the United Kingdom, France, whatever. But in this case, a people, a deprived people, an oppressed people, you can use whatever word suits your own personal political stripe. And by you, I don't mean you, Marius. I know what is your political stripe. But people can use whatever word, an oppressed people. In the history of the world, no people was ever given. Yes, there was an armed struggle, but what I'm saying is the society didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't an excruciating building process over centuries. There was a dispossession, if you like that word. You're welcome to have it. And then there was a giving. In the history of the world. And what do we have to show for it? Between 40 and 50 in most years. In some years, it'll be like 38 or 39. In other years, it'll be 53, 54. But call it, for the sake of an average, 45 farm murders per year. We know from reading those lists that are produced by, what's it called, the Rome Institute, that those people are white commercial farmers. I'm not saying no farmers ever, black farmers ever died. I'm talking about farm attacks and murders on the farm involving commercial farmers. They are, 100% white. I cannot recall myself personally. I don't read every list every moment of every day, but I personally cannot recall seeing a black or colored or Indian commercial farmer's name on those lists. I'm sure there may be. I didn't come here to dispossess anybody. I'm just saying that they are so much that the exception, there's an expression in English, the exception proves the rule. In other words, when the exception is so seldom or so unlikely or so improbable or so little, all it really does do is prove the general. It doesn't prove itself. It highlights the average rather than its exceptionality. So they are so exceptional that all they do is prove the rule, the general rule, that those are white commercial farmers. And we know that there are about 25,000 from the 2017 land audit, 25,000 white commercial farmers remaining in South Africa. And if you measure per 100,000, you multiply 25,000 by 4 to get 100,000. If you're measuring per 100,000 per annum, which is how the United Nations does it. So to get your number, you would multiply 45 by 4, which is 180. Guess, I'll give you, I won't play the fool with you all night long. Guess what is supposedly the world's most dangerous profession and what is the death rate in that profession. And then guess what is the murder rate in the USA. So we're making slightly false comparisons here, but we're not pretending that they're not false comparisons. What is the murder rate in the USA? This country plagued apparently by gun violence.
per year.
Before you talk about the guns, what is the murder rate in the USA, and what is the death rate of the world's most dangerous profession? I'll give you 1,000 guesses. I'll give you R1,000,000 if you can get it right in 1,000 chances.
Yeah, no. I don't know even what to guess, what number to try
Right.
and guess.
In the murderous USA, the intentional homicide rate is between 4 and 5. It's 4 point something. If it makes you feel warmer and cuddlier, we round it up to 5. 5 versus 180 per 100,000 per annum. John Steenhuisen has gone to defend that contrast. The world's most dangerous occupation is logging. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, just have one guess. What is the death rate while logging? The death rate while farming in South Africa as a white man is 180 per 100,000 per year. Logging, you tell me.
I don't know, 500.
97.8.
Sure.
When the tears streamed out my cheeks, people mustn't say why. It frustrates me. Marius, I could set fire to people. I get so angry. My blood, they're cowards. They die at a rate double the rate of death of the supposed, the ostensible, the putative most dangerous profession. They won't even mention white farmers in these. You can go on the internet now. You look up world's most difficult job. It's supposedly short-term project management. So special project management. World's toughest sport is water polo. World's most dangerous job. They've got the logging, catching crabs in the Antarctic, all sorts of different jobs. They won't even mention white South African farmers. World's most difficult job, 97.8. No. Baby. 180 per 100,000 per year.
Sure.
Marius, I'm curious. Anyway, I've been invited to some special reception by these fancy people. I don't really know much about it, but they're supposedly the bee's knees fancy people, and I'm supposed to be ever so grateful, which I am, for such a privilege, because nobody ever gets such a privilege, and I'm so lucky. So yeah, let's go and hear what they have to say, and I'll see you tomorrow, Marius, if you want to do that question and answer session with Dimitri.
Yeah, I looked through the comments. I saw there's about 7 or 8 quite interesting questions that they asked of him in the comment section. So I can run through them with him, and you can obviously give your input as well of your experience while you're staying there, of these questions that's asked of him. I would like it. I will definitely like to do a follow-up with Dimitri.
Yeah, good. Let me just say one thing. Everybody should come to Russia. You've got to see it to believe it. It's absolutely fantastic. Some things are difficult, like getting a phone, but they're afraid that foreigners are going to use them to set off, remote control generals, which, as you know, has been happening. So they make it exceedingly difficult, but for the rest, it's an absolute pleasure. And I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but my spirit or my temper or you choose your favorite word, definitely I feel a sense of calmness in this place that is really quite terrific to experience. Anyway, that's me, Marius. Thank you very much.
Great, Simon. I hope you have a great evening and a great outing with your, what did you say, reception tonight.
Yes,
that you are going to, and then me and you and Dimitri will speak tomorrow again.
fixed up. Thanks
Great,
very much,
great,
Marius.
great,
Cheers,
Simon.
Marius. Bye bye,
Cheers,
Arnold.
Simon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.